TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel and Germany are engaged in finalizing details of a strategic partnership agreement. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that Iran seems either unwilling or unable to do what is necessary to reach a nuclear agreement. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Aviv Kochavi warns that Israel will not sit idly by while enemies threaten its sovereignty and people. The United States, Germany, France, and Britain are respectively raising doubts about Iran's true intentions regarding its nuclear program. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid returned home yesterday evening from Germany, where he held extensive meetings with President Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock. While his separate meetings focused chiefly on the dangers emanating from the Islamic Republic of Iran, Berlin and Jerusalem are engaged in finalizing details of a strategic partnership agreement.
The deep ties between our countries, Mr. Chancellor, are proof that humanity always have a choice. Evil can be replaced by friendship. Brutality can be replaced by human kindness and the ability to cooperate. I know, Chancellor, that you are deeply committed to the right choice. Just yesterday, our two countries signed an important MOU on youth exchange. And this visit aims to conclude the final details of a strategic partnership agreement between Israel and Germany. It followed by the strategic dialogue between our teams back in Jerusalem. This partnership has economical and security benefits. It is a practical expression of Germany's commitment to Israel's security as a Jewish and a democratic state, a commitment you reaffirmed when you took office.
While Germany's commitment to Israel's security includes frigates and submarines to bolster the latter's naval power, Jerusalem, for its part, is also playing a reciprocal role by contributing to Germany's national security interests.
Israel, for its part, will play a role in building Germany's new defense force, mainly in the field of air defense, as you just mentioned. Some will certainly say that the military partnership between Germany and Israel is an historical irony. I consider it to be proof that we have drawn the necessary conclusions from the past. Talk does not stop evil. Liberal democracies must be willing and able to defend themselves. Sometimes freedom must be defended by force.
Prime Minister Lapid further highlighted the unique Israeli-German partnership also requires both nations to act together against the growing Iranian threat.
Our partnership also requires us to act together against the growing threat of Iran becoming a nuclear state. Germany is one of the E3 countries, and this is part of the responsibility it has taken upon itself. It is time to move past the failed negotiations with Iran. They cannot and will not achieve the goal we all share to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. We discussed the need for a new strategy to stop Iran's nuclear program. A nuclear Iran will destabilize the Middle East and create a nuclear arms race that will endanger the entire world. Returning to the nuclear agreement under the current conditions would be a critical mistake. Removing sanctions and pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into Iran will bring waves of terrorism, not only to the Middle East, but also across Europe.
Wir sind uns alle völlig einig, dass es darum geht, dass der Iran keine Nuklearbomben bekommt und dass er auch nicht die Raketen besitzt, um sie zu transportieren. Das ist das, was wir als großes Ziel miteinander verfolgen. Die E3, der europäische Vermittler, haben Vorschläge gemacht und es gibt jetzt eigentlich keinen Anlass für den Iran, diesen Vorschlägen nicht zuzustimmen. Aber man muss zur Kenntnis nehmen, dass das nicht der Fall ist. Deshalb wird es jetzt auch in der nächsten Zeit sicherlich nicht passieren, obwohl es eine Zeit lang danach aussah. Wir bleiben geduldig, aber wir bleiben auch klar. Es muss verhindert werden, dass der Iran Atomwaffen einsetzen kann. Das wäre eine Gefahr für die ganze Region und für viele Regionen darüber hinaus.
Similar to the skepticism voiced by Chancellor Schultz, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, during a visit to Mexico City, concluded that Iran seems either unwilling or unable to do what is necessary to reach an agreement.
I can't give you a timeline except to say, again, that Iran seems either unwilling or unable to do what is necessary to reach an agreement, and they continue to try to introduce extraneous issues to the negotiation that make an agreement less likely. But certainly what we've seen in the last week is a step backward away from the likelihood of any kind of near-term agreement.
The respective remarks by the U.S. and its European partners come as the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, is holding a meeting of its Board of Governors. And while that meeting is ongoing in Vienna, Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz, who is currently visiting the United States, briefed the United Nations Security Council, during which he stressed the imperative of guaranteeing the IAEA's independence and integrity. To do so, Gantz insisted that outstanding investigations into the origin of nuclear particles uncovered at undeclared sites in Iran must remain open and clear from any political considerations. Earlier yesterday, Defense Minister Gantz addressed the annual Jerusalem Post conference in New York City, during which he disclosed intelligence on Iran's relentless efforts to erect a network of weapons development factories to accommodate the needs of its numerous proxies. Moreover, Jerusalem's top defense official highlighted that the Islamic Republic is making use of local defense industries, including in Syria, for the purpose of disguising its involvement.
Iran transformed Syria into production facilities for mid- and long-range precise missiles and weapons provided to Hezbollah and Iranian proxies. In other words, it became yet another Iranian front, a factory for advanced strategic weapons. This site, particularly the underground facility at Masyaf, hosts significant threat to the region and to the state of Israel. Masyaf especially is used to produce advanced missiles.
Defense Minister Gantz further warned that Tehran's unceasing program will ultimately result in a robust weapons industry throughout the region.
Within a decade, they will advance Iranian industries across the region, producing weapons and spreading terror.
Despite Defense Minister Gantz's alarming assessment, a proactive approach of preemption by the IDF fuels some optimism into the bleak prediction. During a transfer ceremony of the IDF Northern Command, outgoing Chief Major General Amir Baram voiced confidence in Israel's strategic situation vis-a-vis its northern front, while stressing that offensive efforts to prevent Iranian entrenchment have broadly been successful.
תפקידנו להרחיק מלחמה ולא לקרב מלחמה. פעולות המב"ם פוגעות פגיעה קשה בתשתיות הטרור, התחמשותן והתבססותן בגבול הצפון. אלו פעולות קשות של סיכול ומניעה שטוב שיהיו מתחת לרדאר ומתחת לסף המלחמה.
General Baram further revealed that a vigorous campaign against Hezbollah's attempts to entrench itself along Israel's northern border with Syria has been successful.
חיזבאללה בסוריה לא הצליח להתבסס במרחב שמדרום לדמשק, לממש פיגועי טרור ולפתוח מולנו חזית יבשתית נוספת בגבול רמת הגולן. על מנת למנוע זאת פעלנו באופן עיקש ורב זרועי באמצעות אינספור תקיפות אוויריות, פשיטות קרקעיות וסיכולים, עשרות רבות של ניצחונות קטנים ומדויקים שבאופן מצטבר אפשרו לנו למנוע מדרום סוריה להפוך לדרום לבנון ולדרדר אותנו לעוד חזית חמה מול חיזבאללה.
IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Aviv Kochavi, for his part, sees the opportunity to level a scathing warning at Lebanon's Iranian proxy Hezbollah from testing Israel's resolve.
החלטה 1701 של האו"ם לא מיושמת, וטילים, רקטות, עמדות נ"ט וחדרי פיקוד ושליטה מרצפים את כל דרום לבנון, דרום ביירות והבקעה. אבל גם מדינת לבנון וגם חיזבאללה יישאו בתוצאות אם תיפגע ריבונותה של מדינת ישראל ואם ייפגעו נכסיה או אזרחיה. צה"ל לא עמד, לא עומד ולא יעמוד מנגד.
General Kochavi continued by emphasizing that the IDF will initiate a harsh preemptive response against any target which it regards as a threat against the state of Israel.
צה"ל יזם את מבצע עלות השחר. צה"ל יוזם מדי יום ומדי לילה פעולות למעצר טרוריסטים ברחבי יהודה ושומרון. צה"ל יוזם ותוקף אמצעי לחימה שמאיימים על מדינת ישראל בכל מרחב המזרח התיכון, וצה"ל יזם והפיל את הכטמ"מים שלאחרונה חיזבאללה ניסה להפעיל. צה"ל כאמור לא עמד, לא עומד ולא יעמוד מנגד. בכל ניסיון לפגוע במדינת ישראל, בכל זירה, ייתקל בתגובה חריפה או ביוזמה מקדימה. התוכניות מוכנות, ורמת המוכנות של צה"ל גבוהה ביותר.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News, which is a donation-based ministry. Therefore, if you are blessed by our productions, please consider making a financial contribution that, in turn, will enable us to sustain our ongoing operations. Additionally, I would like to encourage you to pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters worldwide, for the peace of Jerusalem and the salvation of Israel. I'm Erin Viner, wishing you a Shavua Mevuach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.